The third thing I would say on go to market is don't get so hung up on the perfection. It's got to be 99.99% perfect. I really like this. No, I like this image a little better. Let's craft this. That post isn't quite right. Just do it. I really believe Wayne Gretzky said famously, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And so that's what I say. Don't wait till you're 99.99. 80% is good enough. Get it going. See if it works. Test it,
Yeah.
try it, refine it.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Hard to Market podcast. I'm here today with Loralyn Mears, host of the Small Business Stories podcast. Welcome, Loralyn.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
So, if you can kind of give our listeners a little bit of background about your business, and then we'll get into what makes yours special and hard to market.
Excellent. Well, first off, it's really cool to be on this side of the microphone because as my persona, Dr. LL, hosting Small Business Stories, I'm interviewing everybody else all the time. So it's really nice when the tables get turned. So that's up deck on first. And what I do is with my business, which is called STEERus, like steering wheel us, and not the animal, not the cow. A lot of people go, steers. No, it's not steers. It's steer us. Yeah. Let's get that straight. What we do really is help people get to their next level. What does that mean? We help mid-level managers with adaptive leadership training so they can really rise to the occasion and grow and get either that promotion or manage that team that they've now inherited or been assigned to. And in parallel, we help small businesses get to that next level because invisible brands don't make money. So we
Mhm.
do all the back end glow up stuff, the digital marketing, your Google page, your website, your Instagram, get all that sparkling. And then we position you and say, here, this is how you go forward with growth. Here's some leads. Here's how to be able to capitalize on what you have and turn your business around or take it to that next level and grow it. That's what we do.
So that sounds like a pretty broad range of services that you offer. How do you hit the market with that, and how do you differentiate?
That's actually been the hugest challenge because it really is two markets. The mid-level manager training is largely government agency work. So
Hmm.
spent a lot of time training at government agencies. The small business work is largely achieved through referrals, word of mouth, chamber networking, this kind of thing. But where the intersection is that as a grant writer, I'm helping the government agencies get money to pay for their training or do whatever it is that they're doing. And then eventually providing that training, but also helping those invisible brands, right, get money. We help them get seen and get paid. They need grants to get some of their things going to make their business dreams a reality. And I've had even two separate websites, Small Biz Glow Up, I've had STEERus, and oh my God, the complexity. So it really, really has been a challenge. And have I totally figured it out? No, but I'm closer than I've ever been.
That's normally the way it works, right? It's never a direct line to success. It's always much more of a search algorithm, much more of a spiral pattern.
Yes, downward spiral being a lot of it, but yes. And then now I'm spiraling up. I've got it because it's really the messaging is now really more clear. It's helping people get seen and
Yeah.
get paid. And what does that mean? Well, if you're a mid-level manager that everybody's overlooking or you're not getting along with your staff, well, you need to get seen, right? And do all of these things differently so that you get promoted or keep your job. And then same thing with small businesses. If they're not seen, with respect to their social presence and that online and what they're doing, how they're going to market, what they're communicating about their offer, they're not going to make money either.
Right. And you're hearing it's somewhere along the line you decided to start a podcast and bring all of that into the exchange. So I'm hearing like there's almost four different things you've got running. There's the grant writing, there's the leadership development stuff, there's the small business support, and the pod, and every one of those is a full-time job for regular people. Tell me more about how you're balancing all that and how all they fit together.
ADHD, squirrel, right? And I don't sleep a lot.
Right.
It's
Nice.
nothing to brag about, not be proud of. I know we're in this culture of people want a soft life, creating nice ambiance around them, spending time for self-care, not pursuing the hustle culture. I get all of that. I've really been working very hard for years to get out of the hamster wheel, and I've actually said no to many things. I've co-founded a nonprofit. I've got a ranked podcast. Oh, by the way, I'm an award-winning author. All these different things. Where does it all come down? It comes down to communication, because that's my strength and that's what I love doing. It's all about not just how you show up, but what you say and how you say it. And that is the common thread that stitches all the things I do together.
Wow, and that's a profound insight for a lot of folks that have not kind of figured that out yet. When you start having all of these different expressive modalities for how you're approaching the marketplace, it's really hard sometimes to find that recurring thread. What was your discovery process like? How did you get to that conclusion?
Literally just not being able to sleep, being anguished and going, "Oh my god, like, what am I doing? I can't do this. I can't sustain this. I've gotta stop. How do I get out of the hamster wheel?" And it started in January 2025, where I really started to take a hard look at what I was doing, what was no longer serving me, who was no longer serving me, creating some distance between toxic people and myself, people that just weren't part of the dream. They were just knocking me down and not trying to support business collaborators who just really no longer made sense because they just weren't bringing anything of value or any positivity in a market that was really starting to go down. That's the whole thing. The grant writing really stopped under the new federal administration because, oh, by the way, they got rid of most of the grants. So that's where I needed to bring in this small business piece to retool. And thought, well, okay, there's a lot of things here. We help all of these individuals and agencies build their presence, right? Executive presence online, in person. I'm like, well, you can do the same thing for small businesses. So that's what brought that in. And I started to look through all of that and said, I'm going to give myself 2025 to process what I need, what I want, what I think I should do, and really worked at it. And now in the start here of 2026, I feel strong. I'm more clear on what I should do, what's not in my lane. I feel more empowered to say no. But my God, I'm like over 50 years old. Like it took forever to get to this point.
Right. No, I get that. It's very the journey on these things is always again that more of a spiral circular pattern where you just kind of getting closer and closer and closer to where you're supposed to be. And once you get there, the lock-in feels tremendous.
Yes. And that's just it. Like as much as I made jokes about the downward spiral, actually not laughing because that's what was happening. I really got burnt out. I stopped my podcast and pretty much everything else in 2024 was completely fried. Spent 2025 recovering and coming back and doing things differently. But it's that spiral where I always felt I'm near the dartboard and I'm throwing darts and like, oh, maybe every once in a while I'd hit the outer rim kind of thing,
Yeah.
nowhere near bullseye or anything in scoring potential. But through 2025, I started to hit more and more, and I was definitely on the board. And then I always envisioned this in my head where you're lining up what your offer is, who your audience is, pardon me, what they expect to hear, how they expect to hear it. And I felt like I could see the cogs in my head. They were always spinning, spinning, trying to line up until, you click and then you unlock it. I feel like I'm right there. I see the cogs lined up and I haven't
Yeah.
unlocked it, but my goodness, we are so, so close.
Yeah, that's, the other thing that I've in my experience, as you find that, you get to that sort of center, whatever that is, um, the energy depletion goes away. It stops being like, so damn hard for all of the things, and it's just like, "Yeah, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, I'm doing my thing." That kind of energy flow, I mean, you still have to regulate, but it's not like the same at all. It's not like you're put upon with all of this extra crap that you don't really understand how it fits into the system. It's just like, "No, that's not on brand. I'm done, and I'm gonna keep crushing it over here." I think that, one of the things that our listeners might, wrestle with sometimes is how do you then communicate that sort of that deeper clarity you've got this brand history, you've got this long sort of, the internet never forgets library of stuff, right? How do you reposition the audience and your essentially the folks browsing your website, et cetera, to get to that new understanding?
And that is very difficult. Like I said, I feel like I've almost cracked the nut. I can see the light opening. I see it. The nut is cracking, right? But I fully cracked it? No. So how do you get there and what do you do? Before I even get into that, one of the things even just before our podcast recording earlier today, I had a meeting with my nonprofit. Now, I love the work that they do. I finished submitting a grant for them last week, queuing up a lot of the IT development. So I'm still involved because I really believe in it. But just being at the meeting today for the first time in the new year, after I'm so clear on my path, I did feel that energy drain. It's like this isn't where I want to be, and this isn't the way that I can maximize my utility. I'm happy to keep writing grants and doing that's what I do. I'm really good at that. So let me do that. Let me do that at 2 o'clock in the morning if that's what suits me. I don't want to be on these damn meetings, right? They
Right.
just don't get anywhere. Now, back to how do you do it and how do you get the positioning? So over time, it was trying this, trying this, trying this with not as much thought and intention as I really needed. My goals were very loose, so I've really tightened that up. I've got 3 goals set for this quarter, and everything I do every day, I'm like, "Is that gonna track? Nope, next." That's why it was so hard to be in this meeting this morning. It doesn't fit in one of my 3 goals. And then what I finally got through in 2025, because I had to, if I had been able to just stay as a corporate trainer and as a government agency trainer, that would have been fine. Things would have been clear. That's what I do. I answer RFPs, government solicitations. But as I said, the federal administration changed. They no longer really supported minority and women business entities, whom I work for exclusively to help them find grants. So I had to shift. And that shift turned out to be harder than I thought. But by the time I got to the end of the year with 2 sites, smallbizglowup.com and STEERus.io, thought I need to bring these together in a way that's more cohesive. So my new website is being built, and it really is all about how do you get in front of people? How do you show up? How do you convert them? Right? To be able to see you as a leader or to be able to buy your product because they believe in what you have. And this is still an experiment. By the end of this year, if that small business piece, and I've got a whole marketing plan, investment plan, everything, if that doesn't bring in the revenue that the training does, then I will let that go by the end of this year. Like I'm so crystal for a change. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it is one of those really, when you get there, it's awesome. What when you're working with your clients now, what is one of the sort of recurring things that you see that they kinda get wrong when they come in the door with the kind of work that you do? What's the most common mistake that folks are making?
There's no mistakes with respect to the training side. That's crystal. They get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
"Hey, we need a training in blah, blah," whatever it is, and my specialty is leadership development and training, and so they get that. They say, "This is I have a little intake. We understand really what the heart of the problem is," and I come in and I customize and tailor the training, and boom, I hit it. The reviews are there. I'm very proud of the experience that everybody delivers. On the small business side, what I'm hearing is confusion, chaos, panic. I've seen a tremendous downward spiral shift in small businesses with respect to the ownership, the morale, the sense of optimism, or really the lack thereof. And that's the biggest shift that I've seen. So I'm trying to play coach, I'm trying to play friend, I'm trying to play business advisor, I'm trying to play service provider and get them to that place where they need to be. And the surprising thing is they reach out for help, but they don't do. They just stop. They hear it and like, "Oh, I can't take it. It's just too many more things. I can't." And mentally they shut down. And that's the surprising thing that they're in a desperate enough situation where they reach out and they want change, but for whatever reason, they can't move forward to manifest the change or actually begin implementing it. It's this paralysis.
Yeah, it's a the cost of change is often not measured in dollars, right? It's often measured in organizational fatigue. It's measured in all sorts of sort of the emotional cognitive expense work that isn't easy, right? It's the same as going to the gym in a lot of these kind of environments where it's like you have to do you have to lift the weights. Nobody can do it for you, right? And so you have folks that come in the small business space, and very often they want to buy their way out of a problem. And it's like, no, you exercised your way into this problem. You're going to need to exercise your way out of it. And that creates a very, very difficult dynamic. I'm sure you've experienced this in your work.
Time and time again. So two examples I'll give. So I have 2 clients fixed their offer. It's so much easier to fix other people's problems rather than your own.
Always.
Plus, right, the cobbler's children has no shoes, right?
Yep.
Because we're always fixing everybody else's things. So like my website sucks, but everybody else's that I do looks really good.
Yep.
And that's a whole other thing. And so I've got these 2 other clients where they haven't even met with me. We're already into the new year. Websites delivered before the end of last year. And I'm saying like, "Are we gonna meet? Can we talk about this? Can we talk?" So, what are we doing? Then the other example is I'm a mentor at the New Jersey Small Business Development Center, and I love it. I love the team there. This is, Mercer Middlesex counties in New Jersey. They're fabulous, and they've got a whole bunch of mentees coming in. The challenge is that I would say only a third of the mentees ever actually follow up. They go through the intake, and then I'm like, "Hi, Brian, it's Loralyn, Dr. LL. I'm here. I've been assigned as your mentor," and then crickets. And of the third that I reach and connect, I would say only a third actually do. So we're talking about 12, 13% of the people coming to get support actually go forward, taking advantage of the support that's available to them and making change. And I'm fascinated by that.
What do you attribute that to?
I think it's the state of overwhelm. I think you talked about change, that there is a cost. Mentally, people aren't ready. They know that they need to make change, but it's too much because they've got to change everything on every axis, right? It's like that movie. First, it was only a little bit and then everything all at once. And it really does become overwhelming and it's all consuming. And people just don't have not even the financial capital, which of course is a constraint. You look at the number of small business loans, and 2/3 of small businesses are subsisting on loans. But you look at just the mental energy, it's too much. I gotta fight the social media mountain. Oh my god, that's so much. Oh, I've got some personnel things. Oh my god, my workers didn't show up. Oh, my consultants are charging. Oh my god, the suppliers, they've tripled their costs. Oh my god, are there tariffs? Are there not? Like it's everything, and it's too much. I get it. I really for the people that I do support, I know what they tell me is that, "Laurelyn, you get it," and I really feel supported because I think that's the thing, that understanding. I reach out, I'm like, I'm here. I really get the overwhelm. Let's chug it down. You don't need to be so overwhelmed. I'm gonna do one thing this week. That's it, one thing. And here's the next thing we're gonna do. So you know what's coming. My whole model is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's it.
And that whole step change as an approach to solving problems is one that, again, when you're sitting there on the consumer side and you're looking at how to get out of whatever perceived nightmare you're in, right? If you knew how to get out, it wouldn't be a problem. But the reality is, right, it's you got this spider web of stuff going on, and you need to untangle it. Um, so the stepwise approach, I think, makes a lot of good sense. When you do you have like an onboarding process that you use that walks folks through the whole kind of apparatus there? And
That's
how
right.
does that onboarding process feather back into your go to market strategy?
Well, it's all related to reducing that sense of overwhelm because that's really what I'm doing. I'm even changing all of my branding for 2026. Plus, it was time for a refresh. You know, we're 5 years old now and all this sort of good stuff.
In
So
internet years, that's 1,000.
it's a gazillion, right? In real life years, it's like dog years. I've aged
Yeah,
a
yeah,
thousand years since I
yeah, yeah.
started the darn business. But there we go, right? That's how it goes. So I'm softening the colors. I'm going from my navy blue and lime green to a muted mossy green and a washed out blue just to reflect that sense of calm that's needed because there's so much overwhelm. So to answer your question in that how I'm going to market with it. And when I'm talking to my clients or even the prospects, that's where they go, "Ah," and when I hear that, I know. And I would say over half of my clients come to me in tears, which is really, really sad. That breaks my heart, so I get extra committed to trying to help them drive change and
Yeah.
do some things incrementally, right? Just to get started so they can feel more positive about it and get in that mindset because mindset's everything. And that's why I think so many of them don't take advantage. They don't fully execute because it's just too much.
Yeah. I get that. Lauren, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Before we wrap up here, I have a couple short questions. First, um, who should get a hold of you and how can they do so?
Well, small business owners, because you and I do a lot of that, welcome you to the podcast. Now we're taking a wait list for 2027, so that's also really exciting. That's small business stories. And if you have a problem of visibility, right? As I keep saying, invisible brands don't make money. Let us help. We've got everything from $98 introductory packages to all kinds of things to really turn the system on behind the scenes to help you with that visibility, take out the overwhelm, and get you focused on what you need to do.
And how can they get a hold of you?
So they can find us on STEERus.io. They can find us on Instagram, STEERus, DM us there, or LinkedIn. You can find me there. I'm all over LinkedIn. And of course, you can email me because that still works. Loralyn, Loralyn, at STEERus.io.
Awesome. And the last question is in your kind of marketing journey to figure your stuff out, what are the three biggest takeaways that you could share with our listeners?
Oh, geez, the three. I think starting first, really understanding who your audience is and doing one offer to one audience. And if you don't have that one offer, one audience aligned, keep going until you do before you add other offers and other audiences. That's number one. I think that's the biggest learning. The number two is learning to filter out all the noise because there is so much. Oh, go on YouTube. Oh, this podcast. Oh, this TikTok. Talk to this friend. Talk to this family member. Talk to this. Talk to your spouse. Like, oh, don't do this. Don't do this. Do this. Oh, yeah, this is the new trend now. It's overwhelming. Filter it out. Stick to your guns and say, this is what I need to do in the quarter. I don't think you need to plan the 3 and the 5 year, and people probably hang in me for that, but plan your marketing effort for 3 months because everybody can see and has a line of sight to 3 months, and you can figure out what you need to do, and if it's not working at the end of 3 months, you have time to correct. I really believe in the 12-week year. That's a, great planning, structure. So, the third thing I would say on go to market is don't get so hung up on the perfection. It's gotta be 99.99% perfect. I really like this. No, I like this image a little better. Let's craft this. That post isn't quite right. Just do it. I really believe Wayne Gretzky, greatest hockey player of all time, although Alex Ovechkin is, like, taken over, but that's another story, and good for Ovechkin, but Wayne Gretzky said famously, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." And so that's what I say. Don't wait till you're 99.99. 80% is good enough. Get it going. See if it works. Test
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
try it, refine it.
No, I like that. Thank you again so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Brian.